Welcome to my exhibit Eyes Wide Open surveillance series. Propagate is a watercolor and graphite work. I work in multiple series that investigate nature, technology, and our contemporary culture. One of these series is my surveillance series, Eyes Wide Open. It all started when I was pulling into a parking place at one of UMSL's parking garages about 10 years ago. I happened to look up and noticed a strange thing, a surveillance camera, and it had a bird's nest built on top of the camera. The bird had entwined and tangled all the twigs and straws with the digital cables and wires so that it was a unit. After that, I started to notice that surveillance cameras were everywhere, inserted into nature. And I started my surveillance series artwork, which continues to grow today. Link is an oil painting on a round canvas with a golden background. My idea was to show surveillance cameras inserted into vines in the natural landscape. Hidden in plain sight, surveillance cameras are literally everywhere. We are surveilled on average over 75 times per day, with more than 30 million cams in the U.S. alone. Their variety is astounding, ranging from dome cams, snake cams, bullet cams, and infrared cams, to cams hidden inside coffee cups. Mesh is an oil painting on round canvas showing a common dome camera. Digital technology is so seductive. It plays a pervasive role in my life, and probably yours too. Yet much of what we do online is no longer private. Rather, it is subject to a network of surveillance. Amplify is an oil painting on round canvas featuring a snake camera. Digital surveillance cameras are an endless loop of doubtful examination that are threats to freedom, civil liberties, and identity privacy. I feel one of the biggest issues in our contemporary culture, and part of a worldwide debate, is the danger of state surveillance. The digital gaze is open to manipulation and bias. Surge is a graphite and colored pencil drawing on paper, paired with a round oil painting that suggests an unidentified view through a lens. This 10-foot, 5-inch long drawing is based on the massive trumpet flower vines growing in my backyard. Tangled and entwined, they resemble digital cameras and digital cables and call to mind how surveillance cameras are inserted into nature everywhere in a dense and complex way. Whether the drawing is of cables or vines is ambiguous. Off the record is my animated video. Personal information being surveilled includes our emails, social media, phone calls, internet activity, browser history, financial data, photos, and more. Until retroactively made legal by Congress, the NSA, National Security Agency, had no oversight of Stellar Wind, one of many surveillance programs. It illegally and unconstitutionally intercepted 20 trillion communications, including most emails of U.S. citizens. It is thought to continue today. Our current administration overturned the FCC regulation that banned internet service providers from selling our private information without our permission. Darkwoods I is a mixed media collage on a round wooden panel. Here, I've hidden cameras in a dark woods, so they are basically invisible. Surveillance of virtually all forms of human interaction, human planning, and even human thought itself continues on the internet. Potentially, I think this is the most extreme weapon of government intrusion in human history. Darkwoods II is a mixed media collage. Opposition to government invasion of privacy was a major factor in the founding of the United States itself. Specific warrants are legal, but indiscriminate searches of all citizens are illegitimate, as per the Fourth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Darkwoods III is a mixed media collage. The Missouri Constitution specifically states that we are to be secure from non-specific, warrantless searches from new technology and electronic communications. USofA drone carpet is a floor installation with 3D printed drone sculptures on an acrylic painted wooden panel 72 inches long. By adding images of drones, tanks, grenades, and rifles to traditional Afghan carpet designs, Afghan weavers transformed them into war rugs, purchased as souvenirs by the U.S. military. USofA drone carpet was inspired by those war carpets. I learned that a tiny 4.5-inch surveillance drone was used by the military in NATO countries, including by the U.S. Marines. Teaching myself 3D design software enabled me to make 109 sculptures of this tiny drone. Each drone is 3D printed from heated nylon powder with selective laser sintering. These drones are created from a total of 448 pieces, including bodies, top rotors, and tail rotors that I painted and glued together. I arranged these drones into the pattern of the U.S. flag and painted a platform for my drone carpet in a military grayscale camouflage pattern. Explosions replaced the 50 stars. Proliferate, frescoes painted in oil. Reusing Altoid peppermint boxes, I created a fresco oil painting of an eye on dry or secco plaster inside each of 12 boxes. Eyes are of different genders, races, and ages. In St. Louis, the citizens group Privacy Watch STL has worked unsuccessfully for over 3 years to get the City Board of Aldermen to pass a bill providing oversight, transparency, and accountability for surveillance here, where currently none exists. The bill hopes to correct invasive, unwarranted surveillance technology that targets the civil liberties of all, but especially targets communities of color. It would require revealing what data is collected, how long it is kept, costs for surveillance technology, prior approval of surveillance purchases, and plans for how new equipment would be used. Currently unchecked, our police use Stingray and X-ray technology, among others, to track citizens' movements and cell phone locations without warrants. And they've purchased facial recognition software from a local firm, Blue Line Security Solutions. My goal is to raise awareness about surveillance in all forms and to show the depth of the exposure of our personal information online. I hope to advocate for our privacy and ownership of our digital footprint. My art looks back at the cameras that constantly look at us.